Hello! Do you remember the little BabyHawk R? I reviewed this a month or so ago, maybe 2 months. I had the 2-inch version. Flew fantastically out of the box. My favourite 2-inch. A lot of people agreed, although many of you guys that had this also installed new third-party arms so you could get 2.5-inch gem fan props on it. I thought that's interesting because the basis was that it's going to be more powerful and more hectic and even more fun to fly. So I thought about doing that, and in the meantime Emax actually brought out their own arms for it, and I've got a pack of them here. Now they are quite subtle. When I looked at them I thought, uh-oh, have I got actually the 2-inch arms? If I put it up against, can you see that? The arms of the 2.5-inch only just stick out a little bit further. So there's not really much in it. And it looks easy to do. There's 3 screws there, there's 3 screws there. It should be a case of undoing it, slipping out and slipping in, and there's enough spare wire to actually get it. And in the pack you also get 2 of the arms, and where the third party people were given those gem fan props, Emax of course has given its Avan props, which are 2.5-inch as you'd expect there. And they look like this. These props still look absolutely crazy. I can't believe they work as well as they do. So I thought I'd hook this up with some new legs to put 2.5-inch props on and see how it goes. The reason, by the way, if you're wondering where the props are, instead of keeping this hanging on the wall, I actually keep it in the box, because then I can stack the box and chuck it in the car and chuck it wherever, and I don't have to worry about it, and it's pretty easy to take them on and off again. Well, here it is in its 2.5-inch capability, and looking pretty swish, I have to say. Obviously it didn't make a lot of difference to the weight. I've measured it with one of these new 650 milliamp batteries I got. It came out 158 grams. I did imagine it would be a few minutes job. It wasn't. There were a couple of reasons why. Part of the reason is these 3 screws at the front connect to bolts which are on the inside of the little cover here, so you have to take the whole cover off and put the bolts back in and stuff. There was just one which had a nut on the rear, so that wasn't bad. The problem I really had was the little screws in the motors. Little 1.5mm hex driver to do it, but I found that the heads of the screws are incredibly soft and they're in nice and tight, but when I was trying to unscrew them it was slipping and basically creating a bigger hole there, so they were a little bit of a pain to get out. Could just be this one, but yeah, be careful when you're switching motors around, because you might find those screws are a pain. So that meant it took, you know, more like half an hour instead of 10 minutes. But let's see how this goes. Let's get to the field. I've charged up some batteries. I'm ready to go. Let's find out what happens. Well, hi from the field, where it's come out quite nice today, and we're back in the season where it's a little bit hit and miss, so take these opportunities where we can. We have got the little BabyHawk R with the official Emax larger arms and 2.5-inch props. Ready to fly, looking forward to basically going around and seeing what it can do, especially with these new batteries I've got. Let's find out. Well, let's get on with the flight, and the first thing I noticed is how fast it was, which is why I did a couple of these GoPro passes just to show it. So let's have a look at the actual in-flight recording to show you what's going on. And I decided to do things a little bit differently here. Normally when I'm reviewing things, I take a bunch of batteries with me, and on the first couple I try and do sort of a set couple of things, so I make sure I've got some footage in the bag and I haven't crashed and stuff. And that's normally at least, you know, a couple of batteries, making sure I'm okay and taking it really easy. And it's not until sort of battery 3 or battery 4 I'm just sort of like thinking, well, I've got everything I need, I'll just have a bit of a laugh. So this is battery number 4, where I'm literally just flying for fun. I don't need to get any footage. I've already got some. So this really isn't intended to be shown, which makes it weird that I'm showing it, but there you go. I just wanted to show my sort of typical fly on this, which is literally I'm just having a laugh, just throwing it around and having a lot of fun with it. And this is pretty much what this quad is for, in my opinion. You go out, you can throw it around. It's got loads of float time because it's so light, and it's still got that real nimble ability to turn on a dime, but it's got some real speed behind it as well, and that's what I absolutely love. Now I should point out that I'm using some new batteries. Thanks and a big shout out to my Patreon supporters. They let me buy a bunch of new, and I think they're called ACE. Anyway, I got some 75C 650 milliamp 3S batteries for this one, and they work really nicely. I got advised 650 was about the sweet spot for this from Tony. Cheers, Tony. Good advice there. And it really is. I can get a good 3 minutes of real good thrashing around on this one, and it's just a laugh. It really is. But hopefully, aside from me just messing around in the field, you can see that, you know, we're getting some decent speed and we are able to put some decent power down when we want it. I mean, obviously, it still will sag the battery. You put that throttle on full and punch out, and you will see that low battery pop up. But yeah, this thing's a dream. I mean, it was fantastic as a 2-inch, but the 2.5-inch just gives a little bit more, and that's kind of, if you want that little bit more, if you want that more speed, you want that extra bit of power, then this is for you. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the 2-inch. I have to reiterate that. The BabyHawk as a 2-inch is a fantastic quad, but it's also a fantastic quad as a 2.5-inch, and I would imagine the 3-inch as well, which I haven't tried. But yeah, I mean, you can see that there was no retuning to be done. It was just smooth as you like, and you know, I've really got so little to complain about on this quad. I really do like it. It's I love the fact that it's like 150 something grams all in, and you can do this much with it, because there's not, I mean, aside from carrying an HD camera, a GoPro, that's the only reason I'd want to be using a 5-inch around here, because the rest of this is absolutely fantastic. I can't recommend it highly enough. Anyway, enough gushing. And didn't she fly well? And just like that, my favourite 2-inch quad now becomes my favourite 2.5-inch quad. So, are there any reasons you wouldn't want to upgrade from 2-inch to 2.5-inch? The only thing you might lose just slightly, obviously you get an increase in speed, and there's, I feel, an increase in thrust here. So you miss out perhaps some tiny subtleties of control you'd get when using the little 2-inch props. But there doesn't seem to be too much in it. I mean, you can really hurtle around faster. It might be easier if you're wanting to do slow manoeuvres to do 2-inch. I'm not sure really. I just loved whacking this around like an absolutely crazy thing. It was fantastic. These Avon props, I still look at them and think those are weird, but they work brilliantly. I really can't fault them. As far as if I want to fly 2-inch again, because I had hassle with the motor wires, and because it's like more than like a 10-minute job to do it, the actual difference between the two arms, I will show a close-up, is tiddly, and the weight must be tiny between them. I would literally just put the normal 2-inch props on these instead of 2.5, and I think that'd be absolutely fine. I mean, the body's always been quite large, because this is the same body that gets used on the 2-inch and the 3-inch, and of course the 2.5-inch now, so yeah, I think that'd be good. So if you've got a 2-inch BabyHawk R, take a look at this. It's a good price, and you get to do a little bit more with it. You get more thrust, more power. I had more flight time, but I was also using new batteries, so it's hard to tell that one. But well worth it. These came from Banggood. Thanks very much for Banggood for sending these over for review. And of course I have links down below, but these are the official Emax ones, and so you get the nice Emax props, which are really worth it. Anyway, I hope that's been helpful, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye for now. Well, you've made it to the end of the video, so thanks once again for watching. If you like what you saw, then please consider subscribing, and if you really like what you saw, then be sure to check out the link to my blog for a variety of ways in which you can help support this channel.